Hello, good night, everybody. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharp. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. It's so good to be back, and I'm so excited to share with you some amazing, inspirational news. And this is exactly what keeps me going here and my team. We were just talking today about how great we are doing. Let me see here. I'm seeing no sound. Let's see. Let me know if that's the case. It's showing I'm having sound. Okay. All right. So, guys, I have an amazing approval. Now, for the past couple of weeks, I know I've been out, and even as I am out, my team is working, and every day my team would give me updates. We got multiple work permits. In the past couple of weeks, we got multiple work permits. But here's an amazing, amazing victory that I want to share with you. So our client was called in. We applied for our client to get asylum in May. Now, usually with asylum, you get the work permit right now. Keep in mind, I'm telling people to go for it now because there is talk that they are going to take away work permits. But in this case, we were expecting that when we applied for the asylum, we'd have to wait 6 months. That's usually the protocol, and then apply for the work permit or apply for the work permit at the 5 month mark and get it at the 6 month mark. That's what has been happening right now for our asylum clients. But this case was different for some reason. We applied in May. Our client got called for the interview in July. That is it. Now, it does happen, but it is a unicorn, right? To get this interview. And it's also a little nerve-wracking because with the current administration, we don't know what the motive is. Why was this interview scheduled so early? But we don't give up. We are there 100% for our clients, and we saw this as an opportunity. This was an opportunity to advocate for our client, to bring our client's case, make it very strong. That's exactly what we did. We spent the next couple of weeks making sure that everything was there for the officers to review at the interview, before the interview, after the interview. Our client went in to the interview, of course, with our attorney present at ST Law Office, Attorney Deanna present for our client to make sure that everything went well and she was there to advocate. Well, we got the news on August 1st. Our client was approved for asylum, guys. Our client will have asylum, and at the 1 year mark, they will be able to apply for their green card. Now, not only the work permit, actual asylum. This is miraculous. And the reason it's miraculous is because the normal wait time is about 7 to 10 years right now. This case was called in for an interview at the 2 month mark. Now, this could have ended very horribly if we were not there, right? Because this administration, they're trying to sift through cases very quickly to see which cases they can actually get terminated and move forward for deportation. So this could have ended badly. But what the difference here is, guys, is our advocacy, our strategy, our ability to advocate and make sure that we are persistent, that we have the faith, and with the faith, we do solid legal work. Our client now has asylum, actual asylum. His family will be joining him also with asylum. So this is to tell you guys, we have been, seeing a lot of horrific things happening. But in the midst of what's happening, I've always said this. from the get-go. From the point we knew that we were going to experience changes, I've been saying this. We need to make sure that we move forward with positivity. We're solution oriented, that we focus on solutions. That's what we have been doing, is we've been focusing on the law, focusing on solutions. We have not been panicking. We've been staying steady, and we've been advocating for our clients. This is the sign, guys, that to me, for me, this is affirming to me that we are on the right path. We are fulfilling the mission. And in addition to that, we also got work permits as usual, asylum work permits. So, guys, if you're hearing, if anybody is telling you that processes have stopped, you will never get through, don't apply. Protection is there. You have to qualify for these, but that's why we're there, to tell you whether you qualify and to advocate and fight for you. That's what we are doing. Our clients that have now have protection because they have taken those steps. So I want to share this. I hope it's as inspirational to you as it has been for me. So and I tell you, my team has I have the right team. I'm backed by the right team here at ST Law Office. We all share the values, we share the mission. We are determined to move forward and to make sure that clients receive the protection that they qualify for. Now, the difference between, we know a lot of changes are happening. Right now, we have seen that there's news that we have um, we have news that they're looking at creating bonds, putting bonds in place for people that want to enter with temporary business and visitor visa. That's going to reduce immigration drastically and they're doing it for countries with high overstay rates. And that's going to really, stop a lot of immigration, because people can't afford 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 bonds, right? They have to pay a bond in order to get into the country. That's what's happening now. We're seeing TPS coming to an end, but on the other end, we are seeing judges that are putting a stop to the end of TPS right now. So there are courts that are trying to limit the rate of change and the effects of those changes and the negative effects of those changes. Now, we have also seen that there are major changes that they're going to be implementing related to screening with these cases. So family-based cases, asylum cases, even though this is proof, guys, the victory that I got is proof that they are considering asylum. They are issuing asylum work permits still. I know, because our clients have gotten it in the past couple of weeks consistently on time. One of our clients, they got their work permit. We applied in a date in July. 12 days later, we got the work permit approved, asylum work permit. This happened in July. So they are going forward and issuing these work permits, which means that when you have the work permit, it means you have permission to be here while your process is going forward. That means you're protected. If you get stopped by police, if you get stopped by ICE, you can show them your permit, and that can help you to get protection, avoid detention. Now, now I'm talking about asylum. Let me talk to you about how you qualify for asylum. But before I jump into that, let me give you this, right? We're winning different cases. The case types that we have worked on, we are still getting approvals for those. And we work with different types of options for people who need protection, who are here and who qualify for protection from deportation. So if you are here and you're trying to figure out How can I get protection? Give us a call. Start with us. If you've already talked to an attorney, still give us a call, because the other unfortunate thing is that not many attorneys are asking the kind of questions that we ask in the consultations. Not, and that's because not many attorneys work on the case types that we work on. And so they don't ask what you've been through since you've been here. They don't really get into in depth into your story. And that's what we do. We focus on your background. We ask the questions, of course, but we ask the questions focused on those options, those ways to get protection. So give us a call. You want a second opinion? Give us a call. You have never talked to an attorney before and you think you don't have hope. Give us a call. It's worth it to talk to us and the attorneys here at the firm. Talk to our attorneys, the attorneys that work very closely with me, the attorneys here at ST Law Office that care just as me, as much as me, about winning and helping clients, deserving clients to get the protection they need. So give us a call so we can talk to you and we can figure out all those options. And I say this, it's urgent, guys, because policies are changing. There's no doubt about it. And it really is to make sure we get to the immigration protection and benefits that we can get to with our before those changes occur. So make sure that you're evaluating your options through us. You're taking action, being solution oriented. Take action now, right? So I'm going to describe to you right now asylum, because that's the major, I would say, miraculous result that we got, the latest result that we got, asylum approved in less than 3 months. I know if you have an asylum pending, you understand how miraculous that is, because asylum takes 7 to 10 years, right? Because of the backlog. Well, our client got it in less than 3 months, guys. So it's happening. It is still happening. But with this, in this situation, because of our advocacy, because of our expertise and our focus on presenting the right information to the officers, our client was approved instead of something else more disastrous happening. So it's the right help is going to also be essential in this process. And it's going to be essential because we have so much going on, so much scrutiny, they're now really honing down on requirements and being very stringent. So you don't want to make mistakes. One mistake can be really severe and have severe consequences. Thanks so much, Sasha. I appreciate it. And we're definitely we every week we sit down as a team, we reflect, we meet, we celebrate, we laugh, we strategize, and that gives us the boost we need, because we not only talk about our client, we don't talk about our clients in generic terms. We talk about if this doesn't happen for our client, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to their families? That's what we care about. And that's what drives us to keep moving forward, keep being solution oriented, and to not give up. All right, so asylum now. Now, if you are in fear of returning to your country because you have been targeted based on certain types of qualities that you may carry or characteristics that you may carry, if you've been targeted based on your identity, based on your race or your ethnicity, based on your religion, based on your political opinion. And when we say political opinion, it doesn't mean you have to be a politician, doesn't mean you have to be involved in politics. It could mean that you're the only one that has you are a very few number of you, or a few group of you have a certain belief that you carry. Maybe you oppose the gang members, maybe you oppose the government corruption, maybe you have an unpopular view, and that unpopular view has caused you to be threatened, targeted in your country. Then you may be able to qualify for asylum. Now, asylum comes with very specific legal requirements. But keep in mind that that's a good starting point. If you have a fear of returning to your country, it's time to talk to us about what that fear is, what kinds of threats you face, or what kind of threats have other people that you know that are in similar situation as you face that makes you fearful. Talk to us about that, and then we can get started on your case. This is exactly what happened with our client. Our client held beliefs, religious beliefs that were not popular in his country and was not popular with the government. And our client was also very outspoken about government corruption. And because of that, our client was threatened. And our client eventually got to the United States, where he now has the protection. His family will have that protection along with him. Now, with asylum, you are also able to apply for your green card. They have not stopped the green card process. They are implementing more increased vetting in order to sift out, fraud and these kind of things that they say that they're looking out for, even though asylum applicants go through all of that already, extreme vetting already, background checks already. They are going to go ahead and, do this again. And, and the green card, once you get through that, the green card can be issued. You can apply for the green card within 1 year of getting your asylum. So it does lead to the green card. So our client in 1 year will be able to apply for his green card, he and his family. So if I say this, if you're here without your papers, give us a call. Let's talk to you about what you've been through. Let's figure out if there's a way that we can help you. Many times, many times, we found it for our clients. Now, if you relate to this specific situation, you must make sure that you have it on your priority list to get in touch with us. Now, there are so many ways. We make it very easy to contact us. You can DM us. You can go to the link in the profile on Instagram, go into the link in the description of the video on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Go there, click on the link, and then go to the website. There's a way you can confirm your own appointment, or you can call to get specific assistance to schedule your appointment. Our schedules are filling up very quickly, guys. The attorney schedules are filling up very quickly. So please make sure that you go ahead and book with them. There's attorney Deanna. Of course, I mentioned attorney Deanna was the person who attended the asylum interview with our client to ensure all is well. Obviously, her advocacy was very good. So there's attorney Deanna, there's attorney Bria. Attorney Bria has also been with me for a very long time and has worked closely with me on clients and making sure that we get them the help. So go ahead and get started. We're 24/7. We answer the phones 24/7, guys. And we're doing that because we want to make sure we're here to help. So call us right now to get started. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and answer questions. The first question I see here is, are you a lawyer, ma'am? Yes, I am. Yes, I am a lawyer. That's why we're getting all these wins here, because I'm a lawyer. So I've been practicing law since 2013, right? I've been a licensed attorney from 2013, guys. I have been doing this for a very long time. Immigration has been my focus for that entire time. This law, actually 2013, did I say 10 years? 2013. So that would put it at 12 years. 2013 would be 12 years. The law firm has been going for almost 10 years now. So now, where are you located? Here's the good news. We represent clients in all 50 states and the globe. So our clients are all over the country, and we're still winning for them, getting results for them, advocating for them. And that's because immigration lawyers can practice all over the country. Where is our base? Our base is located in Delray Beach, Florida. We also have an office in Boca Raton, their neighboring towns, and that's where all the magic happens. So, most of the magic happens. We that's where we put everything together and send it out and wait for our clients to get their results. What's your winning rate? It depends on case types. I mean, it depends, but we have a very, very high, over 90% approval rating. That does not guarantee results for you, but it is our track record. We're very proud of it. And this also keeps us driving, keeps us driven. Now, with marriage-based cases, 99% of our cases get approved for marriage-based cases. I actually, I believe we have yet to have a denial for marriage-based cases. T visas, we have over 95% approval rating. Um, Asylum, we have a very high rating. So we have, I would say on average, our approval ratings are over 90%. But keep in mind that that does not mean that I'm guaranteeing that that result is going to happen in your case. It's a rule that we cannot guarantee those. I can't guarantee that. But what that does tell you guys is that we put our all into cases to get the best results for our clients. We're persistent, we're aggressive, we are compassionate. We keep in mind the consequences of not succeeding for our clients. No, but it does not say we can't guarantee, but we do think about every aspect of the case and why we need to make sure that we do our best, and that our track record reflects that. All right. Lost my interview with USCIS for affirmative asylum. What do I do? So you'll have another chance in immigration court. So you have to show up your immigration, and immigration judge can hear your case. You have to make sure that you present a good case. How long it take to get work permit for T visa? So we're seeing a minimum of 6 months. Where's the number? I need to put the number on the screen on TikTok. We'll go to the link in the profile. You'll see the number there. Go to the website. You'll see the number there. You'll also see the number all over my videos. You'll see the number in the description of the video. So use that number. That's our official number. And then you can also DM us as well. And our intake staff will get back to you ASAP. Is it true that I have to have all my taxes paid for citizenship? Yes, when you are applying for citizenship, you have to comply with all tax laws. If the tax law says that if your taxes say you owe taxes, then you need to at least have a payment plan. It doesn't mean you have to have all your payments done, but you have to show immigration that you're in the midst of making payments, that you're complying with tax laws. Can I call you about my son? So keep in mind that we want to talk to the person who needs the help directly. But say you're the petitioner, you're petitioning for your son. Then yes, we want to talk to you. So give us a call if you want to petition for your son or you're involved in your son's process. We want to hear from you. We represent clients in Delray, Delaware, in all 50 states and the globe. So no matter where you are, we can represent you. I get my I-130 approved, but my I-485 still saying interview schedule, but I respond to an intent to deny notice, and now I get my I-130 approved. What should I expect? So the I-130 is usually the hard part. But if there is any kind of disqualifying issues in your background that could prevent you from qualifying to get the green card, for example, criminal records, past immigration violations like misrepresentation, any kind of other factors that may render you inadmissible, then that may be a problem. I don't know your case. I'm not your attorney, of course. I wouldn't be able to spot those issues, but that is maybe an issue. And sometimes the I-485 is just a little more delayed than the I-130. But I would say congrats. The I-130 is usually the hard part when it comes to, I think this may be marriage based. How long is T visa? I would say right now over 18 months. Thank you so much, Aftab. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the encouraging words. I couldn't wait to come on and share with you. Hello, I sent my T visa case in May, but I didn't receive a receipt yet. Is it normal? Yes. It's taking up to 4 months to get receipt notices. So don't panic. All right. So now let's see. I'm on YouTube. Hello there on YouTube. All right. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Christine. Nice to see you. Hi, Rodwayne. As usual, nice to see you. Dixon. Hi. Thank you. I appreciate that. My Lord, God bless you, Miss, and all your lovely teams. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the well wishes. What is meant by the case move from actively being reviewed to still processing? So I don't really pay attention to that, just because it can just yo-yo back and forth. It just means the two of them means your case is just sitting there be pending. How you doing? I'm Stephen, just saying a good evening, great job. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. Is it okay if you don't have your I-130 and I-485 approved, but you have an interview scheduled? I would say yes. Keep in mind that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to get to the interview. Don't let it scare you, but make sure you're prepared for it. Remember, I said that earlier, right? Oh boy, we've never really seen, I've heard of other colleagues going through that. I've never seen the asylum interview come through so quickly. And so you start to think, okay, what's the end game here? But it doesn't stop us from looking at the solution. And that's the ultimate goal is to get an asylum. You know your case is strong, you know you qualify, you want to get that interview. And so the same goes here for the adjustment of status process. You know you qualify, you're ready to get your green card, you want that interview. You don't want to go through the step of waiting 6 months for the work permit and then another 6 months for the interview, then maybe another 4 months for the decision. So you just need to make sure you're prepared for your interview. Now, when it comes to the marriage-based interview, I'm going to give you some quick tips here to make sure. No, I'm not your attorney. So I don't have your case in front of me to get into the nitty-gritty, but there are just some general tools or ways to prepare for an interview that can set you up for success. This goes for any interview, guys. Make sure that you know your application, that everything that you put in that application from front to back. Make sure you know what's in there. That's a good time to review your application as well to see, is there anything, any mistakes you made, anything missing that you can bring forward to the officer before the officer brings it up to you. You can bring it up to the officer and let the officer know you have some corrections. That often means that the officer will be grateful that you're giving them the change before they have to spot it. And sometimes spotting and something that's missing can get very bad. It can turn into, did you willfully omit that information? So you just make sure you review your application. Carry a copy of your application with you, because sometimes maybe a page is missing from the officer's record that you can supply the officer with on the spot. The other thing is bring your certain original documents. Make sure you have your passport. Make sure if you have the passport that you use to enter the country, make sure you have that. If you don't, oh well, that should be okay. But just, make sure you have your passport. Make sure you have your original birth certificate. If this is marriage based, make sure you have your original marriage certificate. If you have a stamp showing your legal entry into the country, or you have your I-94, make sure you carry your I-94 with you just in case the officer should ask for it. You can have it there. If you have not done your medical yet, make sure that you have your sealed medical with you. Now, in order to do the medical, you need to make sure you schedule with specific physicians that you can find on the USCIS website. Make sure, because they cannot approve an adjustment of status interview. If you're going for an adjustment of status interview, they cannot approve it without having your medical. If this is a marriage-based interview or this is a family-based, make sure you have your affidavit of support. Now, usually they don't even schedule the interview if you didn't submit a good affidavit of support. But sometimes, if, for example, if there's a job change, if there's something that needs updating, then make sure you just have a copy of that affidavit of support, just in case. If it's marriage based, make sure you bring additional evidence of your marriage, especially if you rush your application at the forefront and you submitted very, very little information. It's gonna be crucial, guys, if this is a marriage-based case, to have additional evidence of your bona fide marriage at the interview. Make sure you have photos. Now, I'm not talking about the wedding photos. Actually, that could be a red flag. Having only your marriage photos and nothing else could be a red flag for you. So make sure you have your pictures together at different times, locations with different people. Make sure you know who's in the photos, because the officer can scroll through and they'll say, "Who is this? Who is this? Who is this?" They'll ask questions about who is who in the photos. Different seasons, different holidays can help the officer to see that, oh wow, you've spent all this time together. You're putting yourselves out there as a married couple. So pictures, not just your wedding pictures. Make sure you have your joint bills. Make sure you have your license. So for example, make sure your licenses, if your licenses have different addresses, you need to make sure to explain that. If your license, make sure it's nice for your licenses to show that you both live at the same address. If it doesn't, because the officer will often ask for your ID, and if you present your ID, they're going to spot that immediately. So make sure you can explain why you have different addresses on your IDs if that's the case. And any other evidence that shows that your marriage is real, do that. Affidavits count, guys, from friends and families. When you do affidavit, make sure you get affidavits from both sides of the of your marriage. Make sure you're getting from your side, family members, friends from your side, and then your spouse's side, at least two from each side. So that is the way that you're gonna prepare documents and what you need to take with you to the interview. Also, make sure that what you do not go in there, and I know it's nerve-wracking at times, but make sure you're letting the officer lead you with the questions and only answer what the officer is asking so that there's no confusion or misunderstandings, that the officer is only getting the information that they're asking for. So just make sure you're on top of that. All right. So that is my tip of the day. I gave you a lot, guys, and that is pretty much a portion of how we prepare our clients for this. I often put our clients also through a mock interview. That's what we also did for our client going into the asylum interview. Is we reenact an entire mock interview for our clients as well, so that they fully understand what to expect, what kind of questioning that they're going to get. So the information I gave you is gold. I hope you're taking notes. Overstayed tourist visa 22 years, 2 times parole, valid work permit, now received a notice to appear. I'm so sorry. Now, yes, the notice to appear does complicate it. If you are paroled, I don't know. It sounds like you may not have had anybody to sponsor you, because if you're paroled and then you had a family member who could sponsor you, or a spouse, that could be a way. But this is where you definitely should get in touch and talk to us about your situation. The reason why the notice to appear complicates the situation is you have to move forward with the court. Now, the court has a jurisdiction, and this is why I say get on it before you have any kind of notices to appear or before you get detained. Because it's not to say you won't win, it's not to say that you will not be able to fight to stay here in the US, but it gets a lot more complicated. So now, in this case, with a notice to appear, it means that you're going to have to go to court and you're going to have to defend yourself to show the court why you should stay in the US. And there are certain ways to qualify, but it's what way, and that's where you need to talk to us for us to figure out what way is the best way. Now, here's the deal with the T visa, for example. If you do qualify for T visa can put a stop to your deportation. It has helped us to stop deportations for our clients and to get them out of detention when they have qualified for the T visa. And that's because T visa means that our clients have been through a type of trafficking, and the immigration system does look to protect victims of trafficking here. Now, if you're new here, if you have not followed me or you haven't listened to what I'm saying, this is where I want you to stop and have an open mind. Being a victim of trafficking is not like the movies, right? It's not just sex trafficking. Trafficking comes in different forms, and even being abused in certain ways at work, at employment, sometimes even with family members, can lead to you being trafficked. A lot of people, and this is what keeps trafficking alive, is there's a lot of ignorance about what trafficking is. And because of that, a lot of people become entrapped in a situation like that, but they don't believe there's any hope because they don't think they qualify as a victim of trafficking. So they don't reach out for help from police, and they certainly don't reach out for help from attorneys because they just think there's no way. But if you are trapped in a situation where you have uh, uh, where anybody has forced you to do things you didn't want to do, you didn't want to work, you didn't want to clean their house, you did not want to do any kind of sexual acts, but they forced you, even if it's a spouse, they forced you to do these things because they controlled you by using force, if they physically harmed you, or they use coercion where they would maybe hold your immigration status over your head, or they lie to you to get you to do these things. Oh, I'm gonna marry you. Oh, I'm gonna get you your papers, and you at the end of the day you found out that that was not their intention. Then you may qualify for the T visa, and that can be a game changer when it comes to receiving protection here. So, okay, let's see. Where are you located? Delray Beach, Florida. We represent clients in all 50 states on the globe, so not just in Florida. If you got approved I-130, you filed for your kids. Now, then 20 years, they can get approved. Yeah, so if you get approved I-130, you file for your kids more than 20 years old. So there may be an age old issue. No, 20, if they're, no, you said more than 20. If they're still 20, then that means that they're still, if you're a US citizen, they're still immediate relatives and their process goes through faster. If they're over 21, that's where it's going to take longer, 5 to 7 years. I know, yes, I know how that feels way too much. I'm so sorry. And if that's the case, you can call us. We're a safe space. Talk to us about what you're going through because there are ways. We've changed lives. We have changed lives. We have been able, now it's not just about getting the papers. Yes, that's important, but let me tell you why getting the papers is important. It's important because of what it does for our clients. They have freedom. They can escape the situation they're in. They can be unified with their families. They have safety. It's life saving. It's life saving to have this kind of protection. In the case of T visa, they can have access to medical care. Many of our clients have medical conditions that go untreated, diabetes, high blood pressure, and some more serious conditions because they don't have that access and they can't afford it. Well, the T visa allows them to gain that access to essential life-saving medical care. So it's about what it does for our clients. That's what matters. Um, okay. I'm on Instagram now. What's your cost for consultation? $150. Give us a call. They can help you to schedule, or you can schedule yourself. Give us a call now. Good day. Can someone who has reached retirement age and is now retired and is getting SSI and financial aid from the government go ahead and petition for their partner? It's possible as long as they meet the no SSI, that's considered income. So and the retirement, any kind of retirement pension they're getting is considered income. So if they can show that the income they're getting it meets the threshold on the affidavit of support, then it can happen. If it's under, then you need a co-sponsor. I'm H2B here in the US now for 10 months. My renewal of extension this October may be affected on a new rule of new renewal visa on September 2nd, 2025. So yes, so I believe the rule you're talking about is every single renewal. So I have to see if the H2B is an exception because that would be very that would be extremely disruptive to industries that are used to being able to recruit H-2B workers without them leaving the country. I'd have to see if the H-2B is an exception to that rule. But they do have a rule in place that now says renewal of visas. Now this is an extension, so it's not a renewal of the visa, but rather an extension, because when you get the H-2B, you do get it for, I believe, a maximum of 3 years. So that means that you can continue to get extensions in the United States up to 3 years. So I would say this is different. I'd have to confirm that, as usual, if you are going through this, make sure you're getting personalized legal advice, because this is not legal advice I'm giving you. So you can't go by this. But based on how I know this works, is it's your visa, you get up to 3 years, and then you can get the extensions within that time. So it's not considered a renewal, but rather extensions. Now, once the 3 years is up, that's where you would have to look at whether you want to get another type of visa, or whether you can even continue again with another H-2B visa issued. Maybe then you would need to do your in-person. Um, How long after biometrics EAD for T visa? So I would say 4 to 6 months after. I started my 8 weeks after sending out my T visa application to USCIS. How long should I receive the receipt notice? We're seeing 4 months right now. Good evening. I have to do a medical for VAWA. Yes, if you're doing adjustment of status, you must submit the medical now. Hello, does having a work permit mean that a person can apply for an ID to travel in the USA? Yes, a work permit can get you an ID here. My first consultation with your company tomorrow, looking forward. I'm looking forward to it too as well. And I'm really hoping that we can help you. So thank you so much for getting in touch, and we're excited. I have 30 months for a 360. How long does it take? 3 years right now. Do you have to go to interview once your T visa is approved to get your residence? So when it comes to the residence, yes. At the resident stage, you may need to do the an interview. Keep in mind, the interviews focus on your admissibility and not on the T visa, the trafficking. I want to know how long it take for a marriage-based green card after getting a work permit. So it can right now the marriage-based can take anywhere from 6 months to a year and a half. Right now they're implementing a lot of new processes that like anti-fraud kind of screening that could make it longer, in addition to social media screening. Is it okay if you don't have your I-130 and I-45 approved, but you have an interview scheduled? So I talked about that. Yes, that's fine. Just be very prepared. All right. So I'm on TikTok. How do I apply for work permit? I'm from Guyana. So work permits are for those in the US. Visas are for those who are outside of the US. Can a Jamaican sue an American citizen for malicious marriage if the state allows it? That's possible. Now, if you're a Jamaican, I don't know if you're in the US or out, but if you're in the US, VAWA could be an option for you to get your papers without them. So give us a call. Let's talk. If you're outside of the US, that may also be an option, but there are more specific requirements we need to check for. My daughter is citizen, 18 years old. I revised notice of appear. I'm sorry. So she has a notice to appear. She has a notice to appear. It's time to get started on the defense. Notice to appear in this new reality that we're in, guys. The notice to appear what we need to start looking at here is you need to then start to treat it as that last opportunity that you have to show that you do qualify to be remain here in the US. So you're going to be able to use that as you're going to be looking at the what you qualify for, what can you present to the judge to be able to determine what you qualify for to get to stay here in the US. I have temporary 551 pending, I-751. Can I travel? The I-551 stamp is proof that you are a green card holder. Technically, yes. But keep in mind, just be very careful. All green card holders need to be careful now. They're looking at past criminal conduct. If there's past criminal conduct, you're at a higher risk, no matter when that conduct occurred. So make sure that you're getting legal advice, you're understanding fully the repercussions before you travel. Can I apply for H-2B visa while visiting on a B-2 visa? No, it's unlikely. You usually have to get the H-2B in your country. There may be the H-2B status process, so that may be possible, but keep in mind that you will not be able, it's not called a visa, it's called a status. I did my biometrics from August of last year and got a second prima facie. When will I get my work permit? So usually 6 to 12 months. Can you predict EB4 visa will be available? I can't predict when. You just have to keep consulting the visa bulletin. After arriving to US, how long should my mother wait for adjustment of status through US citizen son? If US citizen son is 21 or older, then you want to make sure that the time is not going to trigger a presumption of fraud. Usually, filing anything within 90 days does trigger a presumption of fraud. So, going beyond the 90 days may be a safer bet. But there is also case law that does say it doesn't apply to immediate relatives of US citizens, but it all depends on your particular case. So that's where you need to make sure you have an attorney that you can talk to that can work with you through the process. Does paying child support help asylum holders get permanent residency or citizenship? No, no. Paying child support does not get you papers. I'm paying $5,000 to the fur. Okay, so that's spam. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it. After bona fide determination for T visa, how long for the work permit? So I would say 6 months. It could be 4 to 6 months afterwards. After arriving to US, how long? So I answered that. Questions are coming hard and fast. Keep them coming. Can I apply? Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bottom. My daughter is here in the US on vacation and overstayed while her papers are in process. It depends. No, overstaying, as long as if they can qualify for adjustment of status and after applying overstay, that may still be okay. But does she qualify? And that's where a lot of people make mistakes. Does she qualify? If she doesn't qualify, then that may be an issue. Good night. How long will it take if a citizen file for a child over 21, 5 to 7 years? So it's important to know that if you're here in the US, you are 21 or older, you have a US citizen parent, you have a US citizen sibling, that will not be an immediate solution to fix your overstay. You need to make sure you get in touch to understand how to fix your process, because you could be going into a trap where you're going to be stuck here and be in danger. Um, So father is here and the child is in Jamaica. So I'm not sure. I'm sorry, it's going so fast. How long for taking? So work permit 6 to 12 months. Then at the 3 year mark is when you start to see approval. And then at about the 3.5 year mark to 4 year mark, green card comes. How long after I send my T visa application to USCIS Nebraska will I get a receipt notice? So we're seeing about 4 months right now. So it's taking a while. How long does it take for I-130 F2A with priority date January 20th, 2023? So it depends on what's on the national visa bulletin. F2A means spouse or child under 21 of a permanent resident. And I would say right now that you could be looking at a timing of about 2 to 3 years if you're outside of the US. If in the US you filed it all correctly, for example, it's VAWA. Well, if it's VAWA, it's definitely taking 3 years. But if it's say if it's outside of the US, you're looking at about 2 to 3 years. Thanks so much for the compliment. Can you change your status if you're married to a US citizen if you already filed for asylum? It's still possible, yes. For specifics, definitely consult us. You can schedule your appointment. Do it now, guys. Our schedules are filling up quickly. We do answer the phones 24/7 because we want to make sure we're here for you. But get on it. We are working to help people as soon as possible. We're trying to be here to be able to help people as policies change. So get on it ASAP. I'm married to a US citizen. If you're married to a US citizen, then you may be able to apply for adjustment of status, just depending on how you enter the country. Now, keep in mind, if you're being mistreated by your spouse and you enter the country or you enter the country without permission or you overstayed your visa, you can still apply, stay here in the US and apply. You don't have to leave. If you're married to a US citizen and you enter the country illegally, but that citizen isn't, mistreating you, everything is fine, the US citizen spouse wants a petition for you, they won't be able to succeed in that case. You would have to look at an I-601A waiver, which we just got an approval for an I-601A waiver just this past month. But no, what the I-601A waiver does is it allows the client to travel to get forgiveness for the overstay, to be allowed to travel to the country for the final interview. At the embassy, they won't hold the overstay against you as long as that's the only immigration violation. So before our clients leave, we have to make sure that's the only thing that is stopping them is the overstay. If, for example, they have other issues like misrepresentation, criminal offenses in their background, the I-601A is not going to work. Once they go to the country, get the visa, they re-enter the country. It takes about 2 weeks for everything to happen. They come back into the country and become green card holders. What's the time frame for adjustment of status? It depends on what type. If we're talking about marriage or family based, it depends. It depends on the category you're in. So it's very important not to oversimplify. And I think when people oversimplify immigration law, that's where a lot of the mistakes are made. And that's where maybe a lot of people think they don't need help. Adjustment of status, what time frame is really going to depend on a number of factors. What type of adjustment of status? What category are you in? What's the national visa bulletin saying about your priority date? That's going to say a lot as well. So it just depends. But the most common question I get is adjustment of status related to being married to a US citizen. So you just said it, marriage based. With the being married to a US citizen through adjustment of status, right now I would say plan for a year to a year and a half. Can I get support from law after 1 month of legal marriage and ill-treated by him? I'm a foreign Indian. Yes, absolutely. Give us a call. You don't have to be trapped in this situation. Mm. Okay, what's the time frame for VAWA? So 6 to 12 months for work permit. That gives you permission to be here. And then from there, you at the 3 year mark is the VAWA approval. I'm an asylee with no criminal record. Can I travel with out of state with my travel document? Um, Travel document allows you to leave the country, but right now, guys, it's a risk. I would say any kind of travel, if you're going for asylum, if you're going for the T visa, um, no, it's really not the time to travel. It really is not. And I mean, it really ultimately is up to you. But I, as well as a lot of other attorneys, are advising against it because the goal right now is to reduce immigration and get as many immigrants outside of the country. So, having a travel document also gives the officer a lot of discretion when you're coming back into the country to deny your entry. If, they can do that. They do have the ability to do that if they do see that. So make sure that you understand that. Now, traveling within the United States and you do have your asylee status, that is okay, but going outside of the United States with a travel document, I would not recommend that right now. Is green card for asylees still paused? So right now they have announced that they're moving forward with the green card process for asylees with an increased vetting, security, screening process. So it's gonna be very stringent, but they're moving forward. Can you fly domestic with just a Jamaican passport? If you do, why is it that you only have a Jamaican passport? Um, those are the questions that you can expect you may be asked. And keep in mind that they are just pulling people off on the side of the road. Police are just pulling people over, working with ICE, sending them to the ICE detention in regular traffic stops. So, if that's the case, can you imagine if you're going through the airport? That is going to be, that's definitely going to be a higher risk. So make sure you know that. After you do a biometrics or how long it take to get a work permit, it depends on what kind of work permit. Um, all right, let me see. Anybody else? I don't see anybody else. Okay, can I travel with advanced parole, got combo card? Once again, I'm not your attorney. I can't give you legal advice about that. Talk to your attorney about that. Make sure you have that conversation. But traveling right now is just a risk overall. You have a travel document is not, it's giving you permission to travel, but it's not guaranteeing your re-entry. I have two DUI. Can I still get my green card? It may be possible. It just depends on the circumstances. How far apart were the two DUIs? Does it indicate that there's a substance abuse issue? They may raise those. And then what's the severity of the charges? Depending on the severity of the charges, there could be more to it that could render you inadmissible. Get an attorney. I cannot stress enough when there are criminal issues or offenses, you need to make sure that you do not go through this process without an attorney, because that's where they're really looking at even minor offenses. and they're trying to, say there's an inadmissibility there. So you want to get it evaluated, figure out what the risk is, figure out defenses. That's where it's going to be, is in the advocacy. Are persons who filed for asylum in 2017 being called for their interviews? As yet, it could be possible. There really is no system right now, the asylum, and that can be frustrating. As you can see here, we filed for asylum in May. Our client just got it in on August 1st. So it shows you here, some people have applied a long time ago. They still have yet to get an interview. But what I would say is spend this time making sure you're preparing for that interview. I'm applying for VAWA. I have the permanent bar. Would that protect me from? Yes, being approved for VAWA would protect you from deportation. Hmm. All right, let me see on YouTube. Hello there. Hi on YouTube. I'm checking YouTube and Facebook. Hello, does having a work permit mean that a person can apply for an ID to travel in the US? You can apply for your driver's license with your work permit. And if you get the right driver's license, the real ID, then you can use it to travel. Good evening. I have to do a vow medical. Yes. And I believe these questions answered already. I-751 pending since August 2023. Is it taking too long or is normal for nowadays? Yes, they can take 2 to 4 years right now. If you have your 4 year extension, that can help. If you don't have your 4 year extension, you can get an I-551 stamp. What happens if your interview is in 2 days and your husband is not around? You need to contact a lawyer. We do that ASAP. Why is he not around? If he's mistreated you and then disappeared on you, it's time to apply for VAWA. So important. It's urgent to get on it. Going to that interview alone could mean you will be denied, but letting them know what we have done is we've let our clients got in touch with us. We contacted immigration and let them know the client is applying for VAWA. They're not, and that's why they didn't make the interview, and they switch out the process to VAWA process. If that is the case with you, you need to get in touch with us ASAP so we can get started. It really is urgent because you don't want a denial that can complicate your case. How long I-130 petition take to approve for a wife of a green card holder? So it could take anywhere from a year to a year and a half. Um, all right, that's gonna be it for me today. Let me see, on Instagram, I submitted documents. They requested removing my condition off my green card, advice about RFE with criminal history. So keep in mind, when they are asking about criminal history, you are walking on shaky ground. You need to make sure that there are legal arguments in place showing why this does not make you inadmissible. Sometimes they ask for more information regarding the criminal, so they're going to evaluate. I take it you probably submitted court documents or whatever they wanted regarding the offenses. So they're going to review that to determine whether it renders you inadmissible. Please, I need to ask some questions. Do that in the consultation. Schedule the consultation with us. Make sure that you do that ASAP so you can get in as soon as possible because our schedules are filling up very quickly. So make sure you're getting on it. We're open 24/7, guys. So no matter what, no matter when you are, no matter what time you want to call us, we're available. What duration of husband, USA citizen, sponsor my 12 years from South Africa? So it depends on how long the South African embassy is taking. In general, I'm seeing about 2 years, 2.5 years when it comes to doing it through the embassy. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for your time. It was so nice to see all of you. So nice to see you. I am going to be back on schedule. I was away for a little. Thankfully, the team we still have the wheels turning here. And I've created this system at this law firm to keep the wheels turning no matter what. And this is also what makes me and my team successful, what makes ST Law Office successful, guys, is like a lot of people will say, I want to talk to attorney Sharifa only. The thing about it is that the reason I have great attorneys who are working to talk to everybody, to people every day, is because I'm on the background strategizing. I'm making sure that no matter what, the wheels are turning. No matter what, I'm strategizing on each of my clients' cases. No matter what, our clients can be covered. That's why we here at SC Law Office, we stand out. That's why we are that lighthouse for our clients, because we make sure that no matter what, we're focused on solutions. We keep the wheels turning no matter what. And I'm so grateful that we have the team here to do that and to be able to take care of our clients. So I really hope that you reach out so that we can help you as well. So let's see if you qualify and get started. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good night, and I'm going to work to be back tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell. That's how you're going to see when I come on and I come on live, so that you can join me and ask those questions that you want to ask. And also, guys, by doing that, you're letting people know that this information is there that can empower them through their immigration journey. So go ahead and do those things, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Bye bye.